Hi guys, how are you? How are you? Welcome to my channel. Um, Thank you very much for looking at my videos on my channel. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, whatever. I'm not doing YouTube to get big. I'm not really worried about that. I really love the small community feel that I have on my channel. And, I love how majority of my comments are positive and, a lot of people are getting whatever they're getting from watching my videos. Very much appreciated. Today, I've had a very good day. I've had a wonderful day today. I just came back from getting my nails done. G sent me something to get my nails done. And I had like a whole spa day as well. So it was fantastic. I feel so rejuvenated. Today, I want to talk about broke TikTok. So I've been seeing some videos on broke people complaining about. Sorry guys, I just had to come through with a Gucci lipstick. I've been seeing some videos about broke people complaining about inflation and cost of living and rise in living costs. And honestly, I'm kind of 50-50. I'm not sure if I feel sorry for them. I'm not sure if I feel sorry for some of them, and I'm not sure if I do or don't. So I think I do in some cases, and I think I don't. And honestly, I can't say that they're not right though. They are right. The cost of things has risen so horrifically. Actually, I was thinking about doing a video on financial freedom because me and G, we started thinking about financial freedom, but I'll go more into that in another video. And the cost of living and the way things have risen is crazy. So like, for instance, my electric bill last month was like £300. And I'm in a position where that's okay for me, but for a lot of people, that would be a huge struggle. That would be really, really difficult for them. And even just, let's not even talk about basics. Let's talk about just fun things. People can't even afford to do fun things anymore. It's probably why they're getting on the internet and screaming on random videos because they can't even go out to eat on a normal daily basis. But people can't even afford to do fun things anymore, Things like just going on a day trip or going to like an amusement park is so expensive for a lot of people. And it was just really interesting to see people talking about how they have six-figure jobs or how they have really high or well-paying jobs, or they've got two household incomes and they're still struggling. They're still struggling, even with the two household incomes. Okay, so like for instance, and you know what? People are right in terms of how expensive things are. Okay, so for instance, this is my natural hair. I am going to go and get my hair. I'm either going to do a texture release on my hair or I'm going to get keratin treatment before I fly to Poland with G. And just the cost of getting the keratin treatment alone is incredible. I think it's going to be cost me a good £300. Now, it's going to last a couple of months, but still, that is an upfront investment. Guys, let's not even talk about how much it costs to just do things that are outside of the basics. So people are talking about how they're struggling to just live a basic, regular life. But if you're even trying to increase your life beyond the basics, that's crazily, crazily expensive. I'll give you another example. At the beginning of the year, I flew to Nigeria. And if you didn't watch that, I'm gonna post that vlog up above right now. And yeah, you should go and check it out and watch that vlog. I flew to Nigeria. I didn't actually fly on leisure. I flew on business. So I flew to Nigeria because I've just bought a house. And every time I look at my house deed, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually own a whole property at 27. It's crazy. I bought a house and it's just been paid off. So I want to start renovating it. And the exchange rate is unbelievably crazy. It's incredible how worthless the money is because inflation has just made the money worthless. I think the naira is now £1 to 1,145 naira. So 1,145 naira could buy, back like 10, 15 years ago, that could buy you, some good food. Now that won't even buy you a packet of biscuits in Lagos. And what I'm trying to do, because I bought my property in a very upscale part of Lagos. I'm looking to renovate it, and I'm looking to have a very upcoming Lagosian living in the property. That's my plan. And God, the cost of materials. My mum flew to Nigeria recently to help me get some materials. It's not funny. The cost of materials, cement, the cost of cement, the cost of just ordinary stuffs like sinks, cookers, POP, because I've got to do the POP lighting in the house. Incredible, incredible the cost. And I was just thinking how I'm doing something that's above and beyond. This is not just basic living lifestyle. This is me like buying a house, renovating it, and renting it out, in an upscale neighborhood. I can't even imagine someone living a basic, just struggling to live a basic lifestyle, and they're still making good money. These people on TikTok who are complaining. Some of them are making good money. Some of them are struggling. So there are people who are talking about how they're, disabled, struggling with, receiving government assistance. And I've seen a lot of people in America complaining about this. In the UK, it's a different story. We are, I've just told you guys what my electric bill came to last month. People are talking about how they are struggling to pay the electric bill here. And because it's so cold, it's really important to have electricity here. It's really, really important. Honestly, even the elderly, like some elderly people die during the winter because they cannot afford to heat their house. We are having a crisis here called heat or eat, where people are choosing between whether they will eat that day or put their heater on. And if you have central heating or electric heating, it's expensive. It's crazy because my apartment is electric, and even just putting it on for one night is mad. But on the other hand, so we've got people who are really struggling. Like I really feel, and I'm completely understand where they're coming from. But on the other hand, this also kind of, I wouldn't say it's ironic. I would say it's interesting because a lot of people in the West believe that because they live in the West, they have the most fantastic lifestyle ever. And I'm just thinking, no, you just haven't been able to afford to fly out of your continent and see how other people are living. If you guys know the kind of enjoyment I see when I go to Nigeria, the way people are living, the kind of enjoyment that I see some people living in Nigeria, it will honestly shock you. It will make you cry. Because they've put on a lot of propaganda on TV. A lot of people, because they've never flown out of their continent, everything they think about Africa is, oh my gosh, Africa is poor, Africa is poverty everywhere, everybody's suffering. Some of these people are living better than you in the West. You are the ones struggling, being taxed incredibly high, right? And look, high GDP per capita means nothing when inflation is so high that even when people have fantastic salaries, they can't afford to buy things. They can't afford to buy things. A high salary only makes sense when you have good disposable income. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense because you're just essentially making more money to get taxed higher, to spend more money on things, and to have less money overall for yourself. So what's the point of even getting the high income in the first place? And honestly, I kind of feel sorry for some of the people making the broke TikToks because honestly, a lot of people are talking about how they've become homeless. And honestly, that is a real big problem, homelessness. A lot of women especially are making TikToks. I've noticed that there are a lot of women making TikToks. I think even more than the men. And like I said, what I love about TikTok is that no video on TikTok remains on TikTok. It finds its way somehow to being circulated on YouTube. So I've realized that a lot of women are making these TikToks. And I think it's because women are probably more at risk of poverty, especially in relationships, maybe they're into an abusive or violent relationship, or especially when they have kids, because having kids, right, it puts a woman in a vulnerable position. It does. People think it doesn't, but it does. When you have kids as a woman, you become more vulnerable than if you're just a childless woman and you just have to worry about yourself. because now you've literally got mouths to feed, you know? So it's just, on one hand, I feel sorry for them, but on the other hand, a lot of these people have always felt like they were living the most fantastic, wonderful lives, and everybody else in the whole world was struggling. And it's just not true. It's just not true. And I think people's eyes have really been opened. If it's really, really, really been opened. It's really been opened. Just the cost of things, even just going to the supermarket to buy food is crazy now. And I think I go shopping like every 2-3 days. I go food shopping every 2 or 3 days because the food is just, it's expensive. Food is expensive and it's running out. Let's say, for instance, you go to the store and you want to buy a couple of things. You buy 4 or 5 things and you've already spent like £30 and you're just thinking, hold on. What is going on? Let's not even talk about healthcare. Let's not talk about just healthcare. Imagine, if you want to get your teeth done. I decided not to get my teeth done here anymore because last year when I got my teeth done, it cost me £450 for one tooth. So me and G are going to Poland and we're going to get our teeth done in Poland because it's cheaper. Like, just a lot of these Western European countries, people are suffering in Western Europe, and Western Europe is a lot more expensive than, other parts of Europe, like Eastern Europe. It's a lot more expensive. People are suffering. People are struggling. Let's not talk about healthcare, where literally people can't even get onto the NHS because the waiting list is so long. People who need therapy, people who need mental health assistance, they have to be on a 2-year waiting list. 2 years waiting list, and they can't afford to go private. People are literally struggling. It's crazy how badly people are struggling. Just simple, if someone has like an issue, they don't even want to go to the emergency room, especially in America, where people are trying to get Ubers when they're having heart attacks instead of calling the ambulance because the ambulance bill will completely destroy them. Let's not even talk about the fact that people can't even afford to pay back their student loans. That is incredibly nuts. I'm very fortunate in that when I first started my master's, I told my parents I want to do my master's, and my mum and dad gave me a little deposit for my master's, but I still paid the rest myself. And that wasn't an easy feat. And on top of that, I was still paying for my house, still paying for my property. It was nuts. Guys, people are struggling out here. Not only do the TikToks make me feel 50-50, because on some hands I feel sorry, and then on one hand I'm like, But at the same time, it kind of reminds me of just how much people are surviving instead of thriving. So everyone is just living, a lot of people are just living day to day. There's no thought, you don't have the capacity to think about your future. It's just not possible, and it's sad. Honestly, it's kind of sad. It's really, in fact, it's not kind of sad. It is sad, 100% sad. And I just feel that, something's got to give at this point. People are recording TikToks about how hard it is for them to just feed their families. They're struggling. But it also kind of makes it, when you're doing well, because I'm doing very well, when you're doing well, it also kind of makes you feel like, oh God, it kind of makes you feel some way. It kind of makes you feel like, oh damn, and yeah, it's sad to look at. It's sad to look at. And it just also reminds me of how much most people don't have safety nets. Most people don't have family. Most people don't have good family or friends, or even if you have family or friends, who's to say that your family and friends have any money? Because people have family and friends, and the family and friends is poor. So even the family and friends, they can't help you the way you need to be helped. You don't have enough credit. And in places, in parts of the West, because obviously I live in the UK, and I grew up in London, which is the most expensive city in the UK. I grew up in London. My parents had a 4-bedroom house in London. Very, very expensive 4-bedroom house in London. And I saw firsthand how expensive things were. People don't even have safety nets. They don't even have savings. And you don't realize how much you need savings. Savings save your life. Savings literally save your life. I'm not even joking. Savings save your life. It's crazy. People don't even have 3 months expenses for like just money in their account for 3 months expenses. People don't have it. Let's not even talk about 6 months, because that's a dream for a lot of people. A lot of people can't even pay their rent 6 months in advance. It's crazy. A lot of people can't even pay their rent like every month. They're selling something, doing crazy stuff. And this is why a lot of people are going into sex work. Although I don't believe that it's right that people feel that they have to remove their clothes and expose their entire body just to survive. I don't think that's I think that's a sign of a rotten society. People feeling like they have to remove their clothes, show all their genitals and everything just to have like a decent standard of living. I think that's a sign of a destroyed, rotting society. So yeah, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And I don't know what I think of broke TikTok. I think it's really highlighting the issues that people are facing. And guys, I think we don't need to just keep making videos. We need to put our money where our mouth is. So for me, I'm building my property. Well, I'm not building my property. I've bought my house. I've bought my investment property, and I'm going to rent it out to someone, And then also I'm thinking about, there are certain groups of women that I support, and I'm not going to go into that more. I'm not going to go into it more than that. But there are certain groups of women that I support, like an actual, as in like causes that I really am passionate about and support. And I think, everyone needs to find causes that they support. And if you've got some spare money, focus on those causes. It's important. But yeah, honestly, it's really broke TikTok videos. They depress me. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, so you guys are finally telling the truth about how, just because you live in the West, it doesn't mean you're some rich person, or it doesn't mean you're doing fantastically well. There are people in Africa who are living better lives than people in the West. That's the reality. But if we tell people this, they'll get mad. If we tell people this, they'll get angry. So just leave them. Let them do what they need to do. That's all I have to say today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And wherever you are, I hope things are going well for you. In my previous video, honestly, I think I'm going to stop responding to some comments because some people are just strange. One of my shorts, somebody was like, oh, it's so gross that you bought a house. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, you really don't know how gross I'm trying to be, darling. I'm trying to be as gross as possible. I'm trying to be as gross as possible. Like, this is just the first house. This is the first house. G's planning on buying a house. We've booked an appointment to the bank. So like, this is the first house, baby. I'm trying to be extremely gross. If you think me owning a property at 27 and paying it off in less than 2 years is gross, then you really have no idea how gross I'm trying to be. So yeah, some of the comments are funny on my channel. I really appreciate the comments, whatever they are, sad, angry, unhappy, whatever. But there was one comment that made me laugh the most. Someone said that I was wearing a bonnet in my last video. Guys, I don't own a bonnet, first of all. I was wearing a headband. This is a headband. A headband is not a bonnet. Right now, I'm wearing a scarf on top of my natural hair. A scarf is not a headband, and a headband is not a bonnet. A scarf is not a bonnet either, okay? There's a difference between the three. So I just wanted to give you guys that little education. Okay, that's all I had to say today. I need to go. I've had a fantastic day. And I hope all of you have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want. Don't subscribe. Subscribe. Whatever. It's good. Have a lovely day. And yeah, thanks for watching. And thank you very much to everybody who enjoys my videos. Keep enjoying them if you do. Bye now.